Good evening to all of our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your evening podcast host, Robin Bell. We're going to get right into our show today. We are talking about the historical significance between the relationship of Britain and Canada. One of the long term impacts from our relationship with Britain would be the fact they laid down the foundation of Canada. They signed and founded the British North America Act, which put in place our first four provinces: Quebec, Ontario, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. These provinces still exist today. Um, they also were the reason, well, most of the reason we got involved in World War One, which had a really big impact on Canada because it helped us grow as a nation. It made us somewhat influential in the world, and we were finally recognized as a country and not just a colony of Britain anymore. We were starting to gain some independence. Some groups that are affected by our relationship were the French Canadians. They were unhappy about our involvement in the war and felt as though Canada shouldn't be involved. They felt no allegiance to Britain. They thought that we really didn't need to be involved. I think our original constitution, as well as Britain's constitution, um, many French people felt as though their needs were not being met by these constitutions, and I think that led to a lot of separatists in Quebec, which is still an issue today. This also split the country into imperialists and nationalists. And I actually have a quote that I thought really helped explain imperialists and nationalists. Former Prime Minister Wilfrid Laurier said, "I am branded in Quebec as a traitor to the French, and in Ontario as a traitor to the English. In Quebec, I'm attacked as an imperialist, and in Ontario, I am an anti imperialist. I am neither. I am Canadian." So I think this quote really shows how the country was split by two different views because of the relationship that we had with Britain. I think another historical aspect that is still a part of our country today would be the making of Canadian citizenship. We were no longer British subjects in 1946 um, because we wanted to be different. We wanted Canadian citizenship. And I think because of that, because of our separation from Britain, we had to think a lot about what our Canadian identity was. And I think that helped a lot with Canada becoming the multicultural country it is today. I think Britain is still a significant part of Canada today through the traditions and customs that haven't changed and that we've kept the same by and just added our own Canadian ways to them. Because of our relationship with Britain, we have had to do a lot of searching for our identity and a lot of work to become independent and be known as something other than just another part of Britain. Uh, so that's our show wrapping up. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I'm your host, Robin Bell, and have a good night. by our relationship with Britain, and they are an extremely significant part of Canadian history. So, we are going to be wrapping up our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Robin Bell. Have a good night.